Good morning and welcome to everyone. I'm very excited to let you know that Tula and the girls will be arriving shortly. Can you please move forward and take your seats? I take this moment to remind you to turn your phones to silent or off. Jim and Tula welcome you to take photos and videos during the ceremony. But however, please be mindful of the photographer and videographer they have here today and keep phones and cameras out of their way, please. I've been asked to let you know that Tula's daughters have set up a photo sharing app for you to drop your photos and videos to. Details of the app are included in the order of service, which I hope everyone does have a copy of. The after ceremony photos will be taken here in the gardens and the reception will be held at the terrace. Jim and Tula have arranged for drinks and canapes on the veranda of the venue, and you're all welcome to wait there until the reception kicks off. I invite you all now to be standing for the arrival of our beautiful bride. Here she comes. Okay, everyone, please be seated. Welcome family and friends to the wedding of Dimitri Petropoulos and Fatula Christakos, or as we better know them, Jim and Tula. My name is Ali Taylor and I've been asked to officiate at today's ceremony. Jim and Tula have asked me to thank you all for being here today, especially Tula's family who have travelled from Greece. Tula's father wasn't able to travel to be here today, but he is in our thoughts, as well as other loved ones who are no longer with us. We know they would support and delight in today's union. Okay, who brings Tula to be married today?
I do.
Thank you, Darius. Today's love story started some 40 years ago with two high school sweethearts in faraway Greece. Unfortunately, they were separated when Dimitri's family migrated to Australia, and in a time where communication was a little more difficult, they lost contact. Both went on to marry and have families, but fate led them to both be on their own again and to eventually cross paths thanks to the magic of modern communications. As fate would have it, Jim was in contact with family back in Greece through Facebook. And Jim fondly remembered his first love and was able to reconnect with Tula through his cousin Tina, who is here today. She also fondly remembered that young man from her high school days. And they began a second courtship. They will always thank modern technology for allowing them to reconnect. They both knew something special was growing between them, and when Jim made the trip back to Greece 18 months ago, they knew fate had brought them back to where their love had left off all those years ago. So, with 4 children and 8 grandchildren between them, all of whom are here today, they stand in front of their family and friends and make the commitment of marriage and to share their lives together from this day forward. It is a special day when 2 families unite as one, and Jim and Tula feel doubly blessed to have not only found each other again, but to have the approval and love of you all. Jim's sister Martha is now going to read an excerpt from Captain Corelli's Mandolin by Louis Debonair, which I'm not going to read. If you want to read it, it is available on by Googling it. Jim's Kumbaro, John, will now observe the tradition of the blessing of the rings. Just for our purposes, this tradition of placing the rings on the tops of your fingers and exchanging them 3 times is a Greek tradition. Okay, now I'm going to ask Nikki to help me translate for Tula's benefit. Okay. Before I ask you to exchange your vows to formalise your union, I must state the following. I am duly authorised by law to solemnise marriages according to law. Before you are joined in marriage in my presence and in the presence of these witnesses, I am to remind you of the solemn and binding nature of the relationship into which you are now about to enter. Marriage, according to the law in Australia, is the union of 2 people to the exclusion of all others, voluntarily entered into life. Do you, Jim, take Tula to be your lawful wedded wife? Do you promise to love and cherish her through life's joys and sorrows, sickness and health, and whatever challenges you may face from this day forward?
I do.
Okay.
That was in Greek.
No, you're fine with English. But Nikki is going to help me again for Tula and her response. Do you, Tula, take Jim to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do you promise to love and cherish him through life's joys and sorrows, sickness and health, and whatever challenges you may face from this day forward?
I do.
Okay, so now to the vows. It is one of life's wonderful surprises that the fateful meeting of two individuals brings them together again and leads them to proceed along a common path. I invite you both now to make your vows to each other. Jim?
Well, I call upon the persons here present to witness that I, James Stephen Peters, take thee, Fatula, Krista, to be my lawful wedded wife. Wait a minute. I, Jim Peters, take you, Tula, Krista, to be my lawful wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and health, love and cherish until we are parted by death. This is my solemn vow.
Thank you, Jim.
You got to do this in Greek now.
I call upon the persons here present to witness that I, Fatula, Krista, take T. James Stephen Peters to be my lawful wedded husband. I, Tula, Christakos, take you, Jim Peters, to be my wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, for richer and poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish until we parted by death. This is my solemn vow.
Jim and Tula, you have already exchanged your rings. The promises you have made to each other today are inscribed forever in your minds and in your hearts. Words are fleeting, however, so those who marry wear rings as visible and tangible symbols of their commitment and emotional connection to each other. Jim and Tula have asked Jim's brother Arthur to read Love is a Friendship Caught Fire by Laura Hendricks. And again, we're not reading that because Arthur's not here. Okay. Thank you, Arthur. I'm now pleased to declare you to be husband and wife. Jim, you may kiss your bride. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take a moment now to sign the register and certificates. Please remain here and we will quickly return to conclude the ceremony. And while that's happening, Shania Twain is going to be singing. All right. Thank you again for your patience. Jim and Tula would like to thank John and Nikita, their children and grandchildren, for being part of this ceremony. Tula would like to thank Jim's sister Nikki for helping her during the ceremony. Please do not go far once the formalities have concluded, as there will be group photos. Now, join me in congratulating Jim and Tula on their marriage and wishing them all the happiness in the world as they begin this new chapter. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Peters. Thank you. Bravo.
Here we go. Ta-da.